Ladies and gentlemen, Boston Bruins defenseman, Stanley Cup champion, and environmentalist Andrew Ference.
Thank you. I know there's a few people from Vancouver that probably didn't like that last clip too much, but I apologize. You're doing great environmental work. Sorry about your hockey team. Well, first off, I just want to truly thank, the Green Sports Alliance for including me in this summit. It really is, it's an incredible collection of people, and over the last couple of days, you could just feel the buzz of activity and the excitement. There's real work being done here, and I might get to play hockey in front of, some great fans, but I just wanted all of you to know that, listening to you guys and sitting in on the forums, I'm a true fan of what you guys are all accomplishing. It's great work, and this growing coalition literally has the power to change the world. So thank you for including me. Now, yeah, it's been amazing. There really is truly nothing quite like sport. A lot of us here tonight, have lived inside the bubble of the sports world for most of our lives, and most of the time that means we're blind to the beautiful parts of our respective games. We're distracted by preparation and focus on just succeeding at our competitions. But once in a while, whether it's on a championship run or sitting at home this summer watching the Olympics and seeing all those beautiful moments, we really do get to view the amazing part of our business. It really shines through. There's no other thing on earth that can cut through race, social class, or politics, like sport can. It's the ultimate vehicle for teaching things like self-confidence and leadership, and I think most importantly for bringing people together. We've all seen it, the grown men that are hugging and crying and dancing after they've waited their lifetimes for a championship. And when they're doing that, this guy is not caring about whether that one's view on gay marriage is different than his or whatever hot button political issue there is. It's these moments that I'm reminded of how lucky we are to be the real flag bearers in our cities and our regions. And whether we like it or not, people are looking at us and at their teams and athletes for the inspiration, the hope, and also the leadership. I think that our reach into people's lives is unrivaled. You take a company like Google, and they'd do anything for our coverage. It's one of the most successful and powerful companies in the world, but last time I checked, they didn't have multiple radio stations in every single city across the country devoted to them 24 hours a day. It didn't have a section of every newspaper every day dedicated to it. And they have a great search engine, but most people are looking up how Arsenal's doing in the Premier League or their fantasy football stats. We have an audience that wants to know every single detail of our game plan, and they want to dissect every personality of those who wear their team's uniform. So we're institutions amongst our fans. We can dictate the moods and the emotions of millions just with a swing of momentum. I think people are drawn to us and to sport for many reasons, but I think one of the most significant is that people cheer for our actions and not our words. And I do get the irony of saying that in the middle of a speech, but you'll have to excuse me. People like when something's accomplished and not just planned. And with the reputation of being the people that can get things done no matter how hard the challenge is, I think it's fitting that we take on the leadership role in changing the way business is done. Like most people, and my eyes kind of glaze over when I hear a political speech about what someone wants to do or hopes to do. But when I hear and I see projects that exist because of bold leadership, like for instance at Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania, they've eliminated their power bill by installing 40,000 solar panels. Or the Mariners here, who slashed their energy costs to a quarter of what some Major League Baseball teams spend, just through simple steps of reducing their energy use. When I see these kind of success stories, I really do get excited. And it's not just the tree hugger in me that gets excited. The capitalist part of my brain as well does. It knows the technology and the ideas are here and they exist for these projects to make serious financial sense as well. You know, there's LED retrofits that are paying back in under 7 months. There's $100,000 per year savings in waste management just through compost and recycling programs, and 60% reduction in natural gas use. These are massive numbers, and these are examples that are happening. They're real, and they're saving teams money the moment they're implemented. And I think these things are much easier ways to lower your cost than to grind down an agent during contract talks. Especially mine next year. Is somebody from the Bruins here? I don't know. Now, the competitive nature of our industry, it really is the perfect place for using this technology and pushing the limits of our ideas. You know, something tells me that if the Yankees see the Red Sox slashing their ballpark operating costs, they might take an interest in one-upping them. And I would love to see a TV spot with Derek Jeter. He's telling us Boston fans why his Yankees are kicking our butt in the green game. But of course I'd watch the rebuttal, and of course the truth, from Dustin Pedroia, as to why that's just not the case. And I'll let him show us what the Sox are doing. And I think the Green Sports Alliance can push the standards of these competitions to new levels. You know, they can let us see who can be the most efficient and who can save the most money in their operating costs. And let's see who emerges as the true leaders. But by incorporating best practices and sharing information, we can compete more like teammates instead of hated rivals. And that means pushing each other to be our best by not wanting to be the straggler or the weak link. Now, everyone does have a role to play in this, and it's the most important competition of our time. And really the goal is to do what's right for our kids and our grandkids. And we've absolutely no excuse not to. The technology exists, it makes financial sense, and it just takes the will and the action and our action to accomplish it. Now the innovators, their job, like my friends at Greentown Labs in Boston, they're creating tools for tomorrow that are going to be more clean and efficient. And we all saw the amazing array of products here at the summit, which offer us viable alternatives in the day-to-day of our stadium operations. Now all of you, the industry leaders, have to be bold enough to adopt these ideas and technology. But you also have the task of letting people know the efforts you are making, but in a non-pretentious way. I think part of our goal must be to make these advances in our buildings and lives become the norm. You know, not something that's considered extraordinary, but rather it's just the smart thing to do and the right thing to do. And I think that you can communicate that your motivation for making these sustainable choices comes from the simple fact that we consider ourselves to be the leaders in our cities, and that of course we want the best. We want the most efficient way of doing things because we always want the best. And of course we want the smallest footprint in our cities as well. This is our city, and we love it. We're going to treat it and our fans that live here with a little respect. And we also have organizations like Fans Without Footprints who are going to mobilize the fans to do their part and reduce their carbon footprint. And every different team has their programs to engage their fans as well. But I believe the most powerful fan engagement program will just be the repetition of people coming to our events and having their beer in a compostable cup, seeing and using recycling bins, and of course emptying their tank in the waterless urinals. You know, all of these actions, they'll find ways into people's lives, and it'll just start becoming what the normal thing to do is. And of course, we the athletes have a role as well. We have to tell the stories, we can connect people, and most of all, we have to be people of action that show fans, both young and old, that this is a challenge that we must all take on. It doesn't matter your politics, race, gender, we all have to be teammates on this one. So, use us. We're your most valuable asset to deliver your message. Now, not all of us are interested in the fast life. You know, there are some great, thoughtful people playing on your own teams and in your own leagues. But you must have open communication with your athletes to discover their interests and to use their time efficiently. You know, make them proud and let them brag about what a great job you are doing to protect our future. My own experience in this green movement has both educated and amused me at different times. I don't really have a eureka moment when I all of a sudden decided to care about the earth. You know, the reporter that's writing the newspaper article, they always want that eureka moment. But the truth is, my parents just ran a household where we composted our kitchen scraps and yard waste, and the kids made money by collecting the bottles to take to the depot. I played outside a lot, and I actually listened in science class to the lessons on how our environments are connected. All I've done since is really just grown up and implemented things into my life that just make sense. That same reporter wants to know why I ride my bike to the rink. Well, why wouldn't I? It's a great way to wake up. I'm an athlete, and it makes me smile. You know, why do you eat organic, they ask. Well, if I'm trying to compete against the best athletes in the world, why wouldn't I eat the best food? I want to shop at my farmer's market because my food helps me be the best I can. It just got picked, and it's full of nutrients. And it helps the soil, of course, and my local farms, and that's a bonus. I usually end up giving them a good soundbite at the end by summing it up with this. I really do think all of this comes down to respect. Either you respect your kids, your neighbors, your city, and our future. Either you respect it enough to get off your ass and do something about it, or you don't. I've learned a lot. I've learned so much from scientists and experts in this field, and I have the ability to sit there for hours listening to all of you. But let's face it, most people really don't want to. I just think it's important for us to remember that behind all of our science and all of the numbers that back up the actions that we've been taking in our respective jobs, there's a simple fact that we care about doing business the right way. The money that's saved, the sponsorships that have been earned, and the good press clips will never equal the judgment of our future generations, that this group did what it could to leave them a better place and a better way of doing business. So thank you for doing it.